Hey everybody, Lee from PcjunkieMods here. I'm going to be working on a new client build with the 900D. I'm going to go over a little bit of the parts, what we're going to be using in the build. So let me get this big monstrosity of a case out of the way and I will show you some of the parts. Alright, so some of the main components we're going to have in the system, we're going to be using the Rampage 4 Extreme motherboard, the socket 2011. Great motherboard, I've used it in multiple builds, did some benchmarking on it and stuff, love it. We'll also be using the 3960X, the i7-3960X by Intel. I did ask my client, his name is Bobby, I asked Bobby how come he chose this processor over the 3970, which is the newer one, and he actually said that it had a lower TDP, which is good. I never really looked into the spec, but the TDP for the 3970 is 150, this one's 130. So he was concerned more about the heat than anything else. There's not that big of differences between the two. So moving on, we will be installing two GTX Titans Super Clocked Editions from EVGA into the system. Awesome cards. Then we'll also be moving on here to the Corsair Dominator GT 16 gig 2133s. He has two kits for this one. And we also have some Neutron GTX by Corsair 480 gig drives that will be in a RAID 1. So a lot of Corsair products going into here, you know, Corsair RAM, Corsair SSDs, Corsair power supply. So we'll have the AX1200 to power the whole system. And then we got a stack of more parts back here behind me. So let me move some stuff in here as we go. From what I saw through the bubble wrap, these are Western Digital 4 terabytes. There's two of them here. So those will be going in there. He also has a, I guess I should have pulled some of this stuff out, huh? He has the Asus Blu-ray drive, which is a, don't know. I don't know if it's a writer or if it's just a BD-ROM, but that'll be going in there. Then he has this kick-ass controller, which is the Lamtron FC5 version 2. He has this one, actually, the black one. The box has gray and black on it. So this is actually a kick-ass controller. I actually have one down here installed in my system. Mine's the gray edition. Works great, love it. You can run multiple fans off of it. Then he has a card reader / USB 3.0 hub. So, and then some RGB lighting, the OLS, which is Omni Lighting Systems Plus. He had this actually in his old Origin system. He prior to this, he had a 1366 Origin system that was an SR2 with, I don't know, a bunch of stuff on it. I don't even know all the spec, but it had this lighting in it and he really liked it. So let's move on to the water cooling stuff and I'll show you what we got for that. Alright, so then also we have, I forgot to mention these, the SP120. These are the quiet edition with the high static pressure. So we have a lot of them. So let's move on to some water cooling parts. So for the reservoir, he has a Frozen Q PcjunkieMods reservoir, which let me see here. I think he wanted the brighter red one. This is the blood red one. It doesn't react at all to UV, so I may talk to Alex at Frozen Q to see if we can get it swapped out. I'm sure if I put an LED to it, like maybe get a cold cathode white LED to it, or cold cathode, you know what I mean, not LED, but tube, then it might brighten it up some. But with the black light in there, it doesn't. The UV doesn't work very well because it's not UV. So that's that. These are pretty nice reservoirs. I have the Bay Reses, and actually Dwight, who's filming right now, has a orange and blue one, and he really loves it. So
oh yeah,
if you guys been to his channel, you've seen it. So that's that. Then we have some Bits Power pump mods. These are the kits that go on. It's the outer housing for the pump itself. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen those. You'll have dual pumps. So here's the pump, SwiftTech 655s. There's two of those bad boys. Wonder how much the retail packaging for these costs. Anyways.
A lot.
Right? So then you got the dual D5 mod top. So this will actually be, he's going to use them in cereal. I think that's what this one is. Yeah, this is the cereal one. So this is a pretty good setup like that. Let's move on to some other parts here. What do we got here? So we got the Rampage 4 kit, the North, actually PCH and ICH coolers. So the motherboard would be water cooled also, and then we got the EK Supremacy Clean CSQ. I would assume this is for the CPU. Supremacy, yeah, the Supremacy is for the CPU. And then we have the EK Titan XXL edition with the back plates. So we have 2 of those.
Very big
These are
box.
very nice. Then for the radiators, we have a 240 SR. I think this is the Black Ice SR1 240. Let's see, SR1 240. These are very nice too. I have a couple of these. Well, not the 240s. I have the 480s. And then we also have 2 Black Ice 480 rads. So that pretty much covers most of the parts. We're going to come back. What I'm going to do is basically, once I get to the point where I've made my modifications to the case and laid out some of the water cooling, then I'll have a better idea of what fittings I'll need for the case and stuff like that. And then we'll bring the fittings into to maybe the next video or something once we get those. So let's bring the case back, because I'm sure that some of you want to see that, right? So let me get this out of the way and then I'll be right back. So here we are again, case. So as you can see, that my Lazy Susan is not big enough to house this monstrosity case here. I have looked this case over quite a bit, and there's been a lot of hype on the web. It's new, it's hard to get. Very easy latches here to pop the door off. Just pushing the button and away she goes. I've given her a real good look over. You know, I'll tell you my likes and my dislikes. There's a lot of room in here. There's plenty of room to do stuff. It houses a 480 rad from factory on the roof. You could actually put 2 more 480s down here in the doors if you were so inclined. So you can see they're all marked out. I'm sure that people have seen Linus Tech Tips, whatever videos. I do like the removable mesh filter here that's magnetic, so it's pretty cool. I did notice also that on the edges they have like a plastic guard per se, so you don't cut yourself. It just goes right over the edge, and it's on all the edges. Not that the edges are sharp, because believe me, I tried to cut myself and I didn't cut myself. So, but that's, you know, that's a nice thought that they actually did that. So I really think that this case was really planned out. You know, thought about, and what did people want, stuff like that. The only things that I found that I don't like is, I know that the 800D had a subfloor, and the only reason I could think that Corsair didn't want to put a subfloor is because of, maybe for the water cooling enthusiasts, they didn't want to hear complaints about your holes aren't in the right place, because the holes are not going to be in the right place for everybody, you know. So what I'm going to be doing with this case is I will be building a subfloor for it. So the way I'll do that is I'll put all the water cooling in here. I'll probably cut the subfloor, and I'll do that in video. I'll cut the subfloor, test fit it, make sure it works, and then as things progress and I get all the parts in here, I'll figure out where the holes need to be at. So basically it'll be built for this system. So that is a nice feature, because there's a nice lip here. There's also a good mounting that you could actually rivet or screw into down here underneath the motherboard tray, and that's actually straight across. So from this lip, which is where your door goes on, I've already tested with a thin piece of aluminum. I put it in here and then put the door on, and it didn't hinder the door at all. So I know I'm good there. It'll come all the way over to here. It'll cover this stuff. The other thing that I didn't like about the case, not that I don't like it, it's just that I actually have to pop this out. It's kind of like a why. I understand that you guys went big. You know, this case is wider than your average case. Just to give you an idea, that's how much wider. There's a 5 1/4 drive right there. So you see all this space here and all this space here. Well, when you pop these off, and you pop all, let's say you fill all the drive bays, right? So now you're stuck looking at this, and this looks all nice and clean up here. Well, this is the drive bay. So I'll give you an idea. This is one of my old cheapy drives that whatever, just for testing purposes and stuff. And just to give you an idea of some testing purposes, that's where it's going to be at. So now this is, of course, this is going to stick out further than that, and so will your front mesh piece, that covers up your fans and stuff. This actually comes off pretty easy, very nice. So this is the distance of the drive. So this is all pretty much flush once you pull all these things out. Now what I honestly think would have looked better is if they took all these guys, and since they were going this wide, and took them and either put them right here down the side or maybe over here, right? Just a thought, because then everything else is going to be perfect and cohesive, and then you could have brought the drives out to match that facial space. So basically I talked to my customer, what are we going to do here? I'm probably going to chop off the ends of these and glue those or attach them somehow, so that way basically you'll have this surface area all the way around the drives will be equal. Yes, the drives and stuff will be in a little bit, but there's not much I can do about that. I've already kind of talked to him, maybe put this piece over the CD drive, but that's just too much pain in the ass. But so very nice case though. Easy fan filter in the front also. Easy installation for your fans there, as you can see. Plenty of room too. Actually, you could probably put slim 240 right here in the front. So I mean, this case is by far a pretty crazy case. Let's take off the back. I could probably actually put the panel back on and squeeze my hand back here. That's how much room is behind the motherboard tray. And then they have these cool little clips here for clipping your wires in. You know, they got actually wire access if you were to run you, because you got two spots where you can put your power supply, either here or here, and you could actually run your wires up through here or come in here and go out over here, whatever. So there's plenty of wire management capabilities here. It also has a couple hot swaps down here, which is a nice feature. I mean, they thought of pretty much everything on this case. It's a big step for Corsair from the 800D to this. They've been coming out with some pretty nice cases, but I don't know if I can afford to pay $300 and whatever for a case. Especially, I mean, I know the Cosmos 2, I've had a couple of those, but I've never actually had to buy one yet, so thank goodness for that. So that's it. I mean, this is a case. It's a very nice case, and I'd probably say that it is worth the money. Now, you know, if it was Case Labs or something like that, you're paying for that higher end kind of case, so it's a little different, you know, because I have a Mountain Mods case and that wasn't cheap. I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this case because it is a very popular case right now. People have been waiting for it to come into stock and stuff, and somehow my customer Bobby managed to get his hands on one. So here we are, we're going to build one. Next step, I'm going to get some parts out here and we'll do a little test. Basically, before I do water cooling, I like to make sure the board works, I like to make sure the CPU works, I like to make sure that any part that I put any water block or water cooling on functions properly before I take it apart. Okay, so we got board. We got board? We got board. We got board, we got plastic. We got CPU. No, I know.
That's a nice looking board though.
Yes, it is.
That's a very nice looking board. Tiny heat pipes though.
Those come off. Because it'd be chips that would be water cooled.
Yeah. Just saying, you know. Stock. Itty bitty.
Yeah. Bluetooth.
Bluetooth?
Yeah. So first thing you guys want to do, for the people that don't know, is take the little clip here and undo the clip. And the first thing I'll always look at is
bent pins.
Bent pins.
Bent pins.
Because it's been known to happen that you may get a board from factory or from whoever handled it in between the factory and here with bent pins. So if you have a bent pin board and you just open it, and since we're on YouTube doing this right now, that you know, chances are this is the first time I opened the board. I didn't bend them. You saw me open it. So
I feel like you're justifying for something late.
right. And then so you drop you want to line up the little notches on the CPU for people that don't know. And try not to bend the pins when you're putting the CPU in, because if you do, you just voided the warranty, and unless you know somebody at ASUS, you're not going to get it replaced. And then usually what I'll do is I'll leave this on until I actually put the CPU in there, and then it pops it out because the CPU is bigger. And that's it for that. So that is on. Corsair's nice little...
Yeah, how awesome is the velvet bag?
Velvet bag for your power supply, right? There you go.
You'll never use after this.
Yep, never use it because it just so happens that your cables have their own bag, so you know, whatever cables you don't use, you just keep in this bag.
You're going on vacation, you're good to go.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah.
So like we just opened some of these RAM, and some of the plastics are blown out. Look at this. Where you at? There you go. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Bring it up closer.
So this is right out of the box. This one too. So I'm hoping that they're okay. This one looks alright. This one looks okay. Oh, here's another one. Plastic's blown out. Plastic's blown out on that one. So maybe this was a whole kit. I don't know. We'll find out. Good thing is their warranty is pretty good. So we got 4 of them that are blown out. So we'll be, hopefully they're going to be working. One of the main things too when you're working with computers is always try to touch metal or something before you start touching stuff. Well, you know, the static electricity just always kills stuff. And we don't want that to happen.
Beautiful RAM.
Oh yeah, very, very, very nice looking RAM. Always love these kits.
I noticed that there's a
yeah, you can actually hook up
this.
that port is actually for this guy. Here, I'll bring it over to the camera. Okay. I actually have one. So this is for the Airflow Pro.
Down there.
So if you look at the RAM stick, the newer RAMs have these little plugs right here. And what it is you're able to hook up this Airflow Pro, which monitors your speed of the RAM, how much load it's under, if you have any problems. It's just a LED indicator, and each little string of LEDs means something. There's, you know, they explain all that in their forums and stuff like that.
Would you consider them useful?
They could be useful if you're having RAM issues.
Yeah.
So you might, you know, or if you wanted to know how much RAM was being used up in, let's say, your Vegas Pro or something while you're doing some editing, then I'd probably tell you. I put a little thermal grease on there. I got a video card here. Let's pull this puppy out. This is the big bad boy Titan. Everybody's oohing on and about. Do they want to spend $1,000 on a video card? I don't know.
This guy spent $2,000.
Yeah, he spent $2K.
Yeah.
So there is the GTX Titan. Monstrosity of a video card.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
I'll switch my KVM over to slot 1. Looks good to me. Now obviously this doesn't really test stability of the system or anything, you know. I mean, there could be a dead RAM stick in there, but we're not going to be water cooling the RAM, so I'm not too worried about that. It's easy to pull the RAM out. But my main concern is to just for instance, take this system, right? You put all these water cooling parts on it, you put it in the system. Everybody knows, everybody that's put a motherboard in a case before knows how hard it is to get it back out, especially if it's all water cooled. So even without it being water cooled, after you do all this wire management, because I've made these mistakes before on air cooling, is I actually built a system, did all this crazy wire management, spent hours on it, put the system in there and fired it up, and the board was dead. And believe me, I was pissed, you know. And
I think everybody.
I think everybody's tried that as a build a PC before. But my main suggestion is that even if you have a box and you got to fire it up on a box, you're better off doing that outside the case because, and with minimal stuff attached to it. Like all I have plugged in right now is the video card. You know, there's nothing else. I don't even have a start switch on it because the board has a start switch, so I don't have to worry about that. You know, so basically all I'm doing right now is making sure that this stuff is functional. There could be something wrong with the board, you know, and if I come to that point and there is a problem, then obviously I got to do process elimination and figure out what's going on. And if I have to pull the board out or a video card out, it's something you got to do. You know, I could install an OS and run some benchmarks to make sure everything's working properly. I may do that, but I'm probably not going to do that right now. It's still up in the air. I got some time to build this system, so stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching.